Welcome back to Roaming the World with You. Today, we're diving into the rich history of the Cayman Islands with a visit to Pedro St. James, one of the island's most iconic landmarks. Then, we're taking you on a food tour with us to sample some local flavors. Stick around for an unforgettable mix of history, culture, and incredible food. We came to Pedro St. James thinking it was going to be just like this quick 30-minute tour, but we ended up buying the guided tour versus the self-guided tour, and it was a great decision. So we met with Trish. Our tour guide was Trish, and she was born here on the island, lived in Virginia for a few years, and has been back and has been a tour guide at Pedro St. James for 7 or 8 years. This is her anniversary date. And so she took us through the whole thing. We saw this really great film, and you know, usually you go to these places and you see this film and you're just like, oh, okay, here's another long documentary, but it definitely was unique. We've never experienced a film like this. You couldn't record inside, but so we'll give you a little spiel on what it was about. So it literally talks about how Pedro St. James was built and how, you know, it has been burnt down and destroyed by various different acts of nature, and including a fire.
And yet, after surviving 12 hurricanes, 3 earthquakes, I know it says 2, but we had one 4 years ago, we haven't changed the sign, so we need to, yeah. Came free and some of us came slaves. Yeah. We Caymanians are the ones who came here free. I want to clear this up as well. Amongst the 3 islands, which is Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman, there's a population of almost 80,000.
It goes through the fact that it is the birthplace of democracy here on the Grand Caymans. This was where the Declaration to Abolish Slavery was signed.
And this is where the first parliament was formed. So over there and that there, you'll see a better view from that room. Over there and that there table, it's a signed document and their glasses and all of this little stuff. Yeah. Wow. No IKEA furniture here. The younger kids say, what is dovetailing? This is how perfect furniture is made, like a puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
No nails, no.
Yeah.
Black mahogany. This would have been for what you call a dry sink area, where you keep a basin and a ewer for freshening up.
Okay.
It was built entirely of slave labor. Mm-hmm. We're now 7.5 beautiful acres. It was originally 338 acres. It was a cotton plantation. The only plantation in the Cayman Islands. And we're not a sugarcane island. Right into that, British Governor paid us no mind. We decided 10 members got together in the Great House St. James, December 5th, 1831, and formed our first parliament, claiming democracy would rule our island. It's the first courtroom, first courthouse, the first government house, the first jailhouse, and first animal pound. One-stop shopping right here at Pedro St. James.
It was a jail, a courthouse, what else?
See, the work and preservation is ongoing. We removed some rotted spindles there as well. The guys were replacing those. Yes. Oh, you haven't seen them yet.
Oh my God, that is terrifying. It's like, oh my goodness, we're in your space.
This is right. James Sherwood Jackson was sitting there awaiting trial as a newly formed government only met twice a year. They gave him a charge of murder reduced to manslaughter and a fine of £60 sterling.
So these are all from what year? So you know?
Those are about 1890.
Wow.
The fire that was started was in 1989 from a lightning strike with this 17-year-old girl and this 7-year-old boy. And the girl died and the boy lived. He was just knocked unconscious. And the fire burned down the whole house.
This is the William Eden that went down those stairs with his sister Mary Jane.
Oh, and also Pedro is the name of the location of the area, and then St. James is the name of the actual building.
Yeah.
So
it's not a person.
Yeah.
Like
and,
a lot of these things usually are.
Yeah, and it used to be, it was at one time a castle. It wasn't originally a castle.
But it's not technically a castle.
Yeah, and it's not technically a castle at all, but it was just so to bring tourists in.
Yeah.
And they put
so it had like a peak, a traditional like peak, and then the second guy who came and bought it and like rebuilt it, he took it off so that it would look like a castle, so that people would be attracted to it. So it's definitely worth a stop here if you are into history and you want to learn more about the Cayman Islands and the people. And there also is a scuba diving museum too, very random, but there's that, and a restaurant where you could do rum tastings and have dinner on the beach as well. And they're just so nice here. They gave me, like, they grow these on the property, and they gave me some. So here they call them ginnips. So here they call them ginnips or ginnips here. I call them canepas, but they're delicious. It's basically like a lychee. So I'm gonna save these and eat these later. That's the tree that they got. They call it ginnip. I call it canepas. You suck all the flesh off, and then you spit it out.
Yep.
Put the whole thing in your mouth. And then, you suck off the flesh. I can't believe you never had it.
I mean, they used to try to give me stuff all the time when I'm in Barbados.
Because you live in
and
America
I was,
too long, you get scared.
and I was like,
Oh, also, our tour guide, she gave us a recommendation to where to get some good turtle stew, because turtle is a national dish on the islands. And even though they really respect and try to protect turtles here, they still eat them. And so we're really gonna try, maybe tomorrow we're gonna try to go to the restaurant she recommended, because it's not far, and try some turtle.
The wood inside of the actual building, the main house, is mahogany, a lot of it, and it's really expensive. I think some pieces were $50,000. So yeah, there was mahogany. There was also ironwood that was used. It was very dense, and is actually apparently really good for building. It's fire resistant.
Kickerum. That's a Gaelic
Oh,
pronunciation for kookarum.
kukrum.
Kookarum.
Kukrum?
Yeah, kookarum. It's dog being a cement or stucco or of sorts that is made from the grinding of the limestone rocks from the shore, mixed with water and a tree sap, and it's tossed and smooth and becomes hard as concrete. This would be the reinforcement, like rebar or steel.
Okay.
The bed is a reproduction, purchased in 1993.
Oh, wow.
$24,000 bed.
Ooh. Okay.
Mahogany, as dense as this is. Now, anywhere in the house with a cushion on it, invitation to come and set a spell,
Yeah.
or one can come and set as long as necessary.
There you go.
And I ain't done yet.
Cozy.
Really? No? Wait.
It's also a birthing chair.
Dignified. Also, the trees some of the trees were used for rope making. Some of that we saw yesterday. They look like palm trees, but they're kind of special. They're much more narrow. They're 6 inches in diameter or something like that.
This is our national tree. This is the silver thatch palm.
But they soak them in the ocean.
Yeah, and then they take the dried out leaves, they tear up the fibers, they soak them in the ocean, and then for a month, and then they dry them out, and then apparently they're very strong, and it's apparently impossible to break them with your hands. That was one of the chief exports of the Cayman Islands for a while, and we got to see some of that rope in the main building.
World's strongest natural fiber rope. This coil of rope is 72 years young. Wow. I say that to consider a silver thatch rope old. It has to be 100, 150, 200 years.
Yeah.
You call that an old rope. Oh. This is a baby. It hasn't lived
Wow.
yet.
Oh, okay. Look at that little cannon. Little baby cannon.
Oh yeah, take you out by the millions.
Please don't tell me that's a bed.
Because it's a losing craft and art, the silver thatch is very, very hard to work with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was that. There's a lot more that we could say, but maybe future us will voice over.
So the 12 stones represents the 12th day of September. The 9 seats, and they're made of fallen casuarina or Australian pine trees. I'll show you those as we go back there. We decided not to lose them all together, so we made chairs out of them. The 4 little tables the same, representing 2004, and the circle representing our resilience.
Now that we've gotten some history of the Cayman Islands, it's time to switch things up. We're going to do one of the favorite things that we love to do when we visit a new place, go on a food tour. If you watch any of our video series, you'll know that we cannot go to a country without doing some type of food-related tour, whether that is a food tour, a cooking class, or a DIY food tour. We have to do it. And I know that we've shown you a lot of the things that we've eaten so far in the Cayman Islands, but we are closing out our trip here with a food tour. So it's a 4.5-hour food tour. You ready? But it's a mix of food and culture, so it's a little bit different, and we're really excited to try this out, and hopefully we get to taste things we haven't had yet. So let's go.
The tour is basically about the food and the culture. Feel free to ask me as much questions. I know it's the first time you're on the island. We had a devastating Hurricane Ivan that destroyed the whole island. So 90% of the island was destroyed. So what you're seeing here is a lot of rebuild. Let me know if you want more.
The roti has a kick.
It is.
Yeah, it has a kick.
So we are going to have rum now. But not we, but you guys.
Our second stop on our food and culture tour is the Cayman Rum Distillery. Let's go. Now this was a rum tasting. We tried 10 different rums, and each one had its own unique flavor. From smooth to sweet to spicy to rich to bold. If you're into rum, then this is definitely the place to be.
Never allow anybody to impose their opinion on your taste buds. Just because somebody made it with some celebrity name, fly to the moon and back, doesn't mean nothing when you're like, oh my god, that's horrible. Yes, that's how we started. 2 ice buckets welded together and here we are. Yes, wow. Well, ladies, this is a lesson for you. This is what happens when you leave men unsupervised. Look at this thing. Does it look legit? No, it's moonshine. It's 2 ice buckets. This is upper part. This is bought in Canada. This is real stuff. You can buy it online and make your own moonshine. What we didn't want to spend money on is the lower part. So we said, oh, we're engineers, we're boys, we have 10 fingers, we can do things. So this is 2 ice buckets welded together. And nothing exploded, nothing went in flames. Off we go. Look at this place now. That's average. Now, fathom is 6 feet, so 7 fathom equals to 42. And 42 feet below sea surface is where we barrel age rum. So we physically place barrels 42 feet below sea surface. Nobody else submerged barrels under sea, yet alone 42 feet below, but that's how we make this butte, right? We get empty barrels here, we fill them up with a heavy rum, and then we protect them from the elements when submerging them 42 feet below, and they spend up to 4 years down there. And what they do down there is this. It's constant sloshing, and therefore extracting more flavor in less time, because this barrel, like here, it's sitting still, and rum slowly goes inside, where down there it's like in a washer. So we find a natural way to expedite the barrel aging process, plus it's much cooler down there.
Ooh,
This is delicious.
that coconut.
Now, this is what you need to put in the equation now.
Oh wow.
That is good.
Exactly.
Come on, try it.
will make a sweet.
Banana rum.
I like it.
That's delicious.
You know how we call mulled wine in Europe?
What?
Glut wine.
Glute wine? Like butt?
Glut. I like it. I like it. I like when he started.
No, thank you.
Molasses is dark, brown, caramelly, smoky, jammy, seducing, kind of like usual.
What?
This is delicious.
Maple syrup, right?
This is good. That's good.
Ooh, this is you're right. Pancake syrup for sure. It does not taste like alcohol at all.
Oh my god.
That's dangerous.
That is dangerous. Yeah. At all.
And the sugar will tell your hangover.
It kind of gives me like.
In an iced tea as a sweetener. You can put it in a milkshake or ice cream.
Good, strong Christian food.
Good, strong Christian.
Oh, that's plenty. That's plenty.
This could be a syrup too. Imagine you make a little like syrup
Yes.
board.
Forget. After this, we have
The previous one was for syrup, pancakes, and this is for peach iced tea.
This is good.
Delicious.
Now, originally, triple sec was invented to be digested, to help you digest the hefty meal. It tastes so good that they added cocktails and they were brilliant. Today, that's not the case. That was the original purpose, but you cannot do that with everything. But that's the cost control. Oh, you have to do this?
Wait. Oh.
Well,
Oh, it's triple sec. It's fine.
Bake poultry like turkey for Thanksgiving. Wrap this in a turkey skin, put it in stuffing, then you barbecue sauce.
Interesting.
In your coffee when day stressful clients are unbearable. Yeah.
That's probably the one I want to buy actually. I love mermaid.
We got two for the price of one. The shots of it. Take another one.
This is coffee, but it's like chocolate.
This is maybe the best one.
Alright, so we're gonna go inside.
It's hot sauce.
Yeah.
So Chef Sarah, for I think maybe 3 or 4 of you guys were missing, she is a local chef and she was one of the finalists on Top Chef in season 3.
Oh, wow.
And so after that, she worked in all the Michelin 5-star restaurants throughout the US. And she came back after 20 years and decided she wants to come back to her roots. And she decided that she wanted to buy, so she bought a piece of farmland. And she has a professional chef's kitchen in the middle of the farm.
Are green. I use them in Bloody Marys, Bloody Caesars, martinis, or in a sandwich.
I don't know, but
What's
I
a
want to
Bloody
find
Caesar?
out.
Bloody Caesars with clamato juice.
Oh.
So it's tomato.
So what we could do, we could start with the tasting of the different things.
It's very seasonal. It's kind of whatever we have in season at the time. But I always have pumpkin because we always have pumpkin. And I always have the callaloo dip because we always have callaloo and fish. This one is an ackee. So who's having the ackee and sawfish? You're having the ackee. No.
Don't know.
Oh.
Right. So this is a roasted ackee spread. It's very yummy. Kind of like spinach dip.
And this one, that's
Yeah, that's ackee.
You haven't had ackee?
Is it like a
I don't
fish
think
or
I've ever had it. What is
It's,
it?
it's that fruit in Barbados.
It's like a fruit.
Yeah, it comes from the
So
tree.
it has all the ingredients of hummus except for the chickpeas. Yeah.
Smoked fish.
So this is an ackee.
Oh, that is delicious.
Okay.
But in Haiti, they use it to make zombies. Phobia, Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they use it in their concoction.
Oh, that's funny.
Ooh.
My pork ribs.
And they're probably like nice and sticky.
That is good.
Yeah, so we get waffle, local waffle, and you cure it.
That's good. And I don't like coconut. That's good. I'm so hot. Okay, let me just taste the meat. I got a pork, breadfruit, like the shell is made of breadfruit. So let's see. Like, can y'all see it?
If you ladies we can sit over there.
Damn, you got that sauce all.
Good.
Let's give this a try.
Oh, it's so good.
I guess the salt.
Woo! It
Whatever meat you want.
exploded on me, but it
I
was good.
told you that. Flavors, right?
Yeah. This is the conch fritter, the curried conch.
That's good.
See, I only know it's curried conch because she corrected my pronunciation when I said conch.
Conch.
Summer.
Oh my God, look at that.
Thank you.
The 7 fathoms, I think it was called, or raisin.
So this is red papaya and mango sorbet.
So good. She said that they make it fresh every day, and then whatever's left, like there's no, it's not getting served the next day.
We're almost at the end of our food tour. We're gonna head to an art gallery, actually, the National Art Gallery right now. But so far, what I'll say is this is a great food tour. We got a lot of variety. We got food, we got drinks, we've got ice cream, and specifically the tacos that we had by Smokies. That's the woman who was the season 3 winner of Top Chef.
She wasn't the winner, she was like a finalist.
Season 3 finalist from Top Chef. She was amazing. Their food was delicious. So yeah, I mean, if we come back, we want to do that again. So yeah, so now we're on to the next place, and we'll see you there.
That's it for today's video. We hope that you enjoyed spending time with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Also, be sure to check out our next video where we'll be staying at the Westin Grand Cayman. More island fun is on the way.